All right, here we are, ready to go. Good morning to Kevin Hawthorne. How are you doing today? All the way down there in steamy Florida. I feel sorry for you folks sometimes because you live in a very, very hot environment. I'm not a very hot environment person. Now, this roll is a 1961D original Fed Reserve roll, and you'll notice that it's already been unwrapped. And that was because I accidentally unwrapped it a couple of days ago when we were getting ready to do a different 1961D roll. And I noticed after I started going through it that it wasn't correct. So forgive me that this roll has already been unwrapped once, but it is still original exactly as it came, coin for coin. I already know the first 4 coins aren't going to show us anything because I've seen the first 4 coins, but the remaining 46 I have not seen. So here we go. Coin number 1 in this roll. Let me move these over a little bit. There we go. Goes to Paul Hampton. Coin number 1 to Paul Hampton. And we'll take a look at it. It's got some really nice color, but it doesn't have any variety on it. I've already checked this coin just to see the reverse. A little off of red, but pretty much a full red reverse. And here we are, ready for coin number 2. Coin number 2 now for Shinbone. 1961D, very well known for its RPMs. Doesn't have much for double dies. No obverse is known. The only doubling known on the obverse of 1961 Lincoln cents is this that you see right here, especially on the O of God. You see a little doubling at the top of the O right there. And then if you look down at the letters of liberty, sometimes you'll see a little bit of doubling on the outside edge of those letters. That's master die doubling. It happens to almost all of the 1961 Lincoln cents overall. And we'll flip this over and take a quick look at the reverse. Remember the rule about finding double dies. A lot of times your double dies are going to have that little bit of doubling as thickness toward the outside edge of the design. And that thickness is going to show up on the ridge line of the lettering pointed toward the rim. Now Mickey up for coin number 3, coin number 3. Nice earlier die state here. No doubling on the mint mark. Nothing on the obverse. And nothing really on the reverse either. It is a pretty coin, though. I agree with you on that, James. Very pretty looking coin. Number 4 will go to you, James. One for Mr. Valley. What do we see here? Another nice coin, but not a die variety. Not a double die obverse anyway, or repunch mint mark. Well, I might be eating my shorts here. This could be a double die. Let me check here real quick. Let's run this up and take a look at the bottom of that L. Yeah, what I was seeing is kind of more indicative of a die scratch that's been worn over than anything else. Sometimes these little bubulous looking things down here on the bottom are pretty well defined bottoms of an L. And that's not the case in this. So we continue on our quest to find goodies. Maybe. Maybe not. Okay. New and different. That is part of a double die after all. The bottom of the B is doubled. A nublet, including the little thing on the bottom of the B. That is a double die. So let's see if I can get it shaded out right. Yep, definitely it shows up. Right there on the bottom of the B, you got that little nublet, and you've also got a matching one on the bottom of the L. So that is a double die, although a very understandably minor one. But it is there, nonetheless. See how well we see it at this magnification. See what we can see. It's there. It's definitely there, all right. Let me knock my magnification down a little bit, my lighting down a little bit here. You can still see the little nublet on the L, and you can definitely see the little nublet on the B. So now that I'm only 4 coins into the roll, let me go back through number 1 through 3 and see if I found anything there. This one has a bit of die damage down to the southwest of the D. That's going to be what we'll be able to use around the date here. We've got that, and we've got this little die scratch next to the D. And I think that might be... Nope, never mind. I was going to say another die scratch, but there isn't. So we'll use those two as markers. We've got a little die scratch west of the D, and then we've got this little bit of die damage down here by the vest. And then we can just move straight over to here, and we can see our little nub on the bottom of the B. And that, folks, is a little double die. Check the reverse here. Make sure we don't have a double die reverse that we're skipping over. Very important to do that. Really nice marker right there. Big old zigzaggy die scratch running across UNITE. Another one on the O of 1. No doubling, though. No doubling here. Little on the T, you think? Let's go take a look at the T. Let's do this like this here. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything on Liberty. Huh. Okay. We have to talk about the right T. It actually is on the T and the Y. Really? That is different. Thanks, Eric. You pointed out something there. Yep, that is hubbing. That is from hubbing, so that definitely is part of the double die. Bottom of the T, the bottom of the Y. So you've got the L, B, T, and Y all showing it. So, yep, there we go. Nice one, nice one. Thanks for pointing that out to me. I wasn't even looking at it. Okay, so let me get everything straightened out here. I think I even kind of see a little bit of on the top inside of the B, the E, and the R. So, suffice to say, we've got doubling on Liberty. Nothing on the ear, nothing in the eye. And we've got our markers are going to be that little bit of die damage down here toward the vest. And then we've got a little die scratch right there. Those will be on any other coins we find of this die. So we're going to take a quick look at coins 3, 2, and 1. Again, just to see, I'm going to adjust my focus so I'm down on the level. The 1 is not one of them. I try to be thorough, boys and girls. We don't want to get any of this wrong. Not one of them here. On number 2. And then number 3. Nice early die state coin as I remember. Let's see what it has. No doubling. No nubs. So, we're all good. Coin number 4 is a double die. Coin number 5 goes to Maxwell. Let's put our little stand back up in here and get it focused back in. And look at that obverse. And see what we see. The 9 and 6 are connected on this one. Little die scratch up there connects them. Or a gouge. Either or, it's not an RPM. And no doubling on the obverse. Let's check the reverse real quick. Reverses, I would probably say, are going to be very highly unlikely to be doubled on a 61D, although I do know of a couple of them. Number 6 now, Joe McBride. Not that die. Could be something different, but not that die. Nothing there. How about the reverse? Nothing there. Number 7 now, Mark. Let's see what Mark has. Not the same die. Not an RPM. No doubling on the obverse. No doubling on the reverse. Or reverse. So instant not there. Be very excited to see another one of those, to see if we are for sure seeing something, or if on that first coin we could possibly have made it all up. But I don't think so. I think it's real. But I always like to find a second example to verify. Number 9 now for Sissy. Little minor double split serif RPM here. I can tell because if you look very carefully, you can see the split on the upper right there. And on the lower, we have this big landing, this big curved landing down here on the bottom of the D, and that's not normal. So now we come in close. You can see the split serif right there on the top. And there's a split on the bottom. So we definitely have a double split serif RPM. That one for Sissy. And my lighting straight again. Every time I do that, I have to move my lighting around. Kind of a pain, but I tell you what, for the purpose of educating one other person on exactly what they're seeing and what they're looking at, it's worth it. Worth every single moment of it. I'm seeing some stuff on the tops of trust, but I don't think that is doubling. I think it's something else. minor damage or something. Let me quit trying to talk myself out of it and see what it is. Okay, the S is coin damage. The T, I don't know yet. Right on the upper ridge of the T, that is either eject doubling or it is actually Papa York. See, I can see it there on the T as well, it appears. And turn it just right. There we go. It is on the O, but that's normal. I'm thinking this is part of the master die doubling that we can see on these sometimes. And this one's just a little bit sharper than normal. So yeah, we're going to keep moving. All right, reverse here. We've already minted almost $1 billion 25 cents. I know, and too bad, so sad for the people who bought them at $200-300 a box, thinking that they were going to be scarce. That's something your president caused. A little bit of a tussle about. Turns out that it was absolutely nothing. He doesn't have the power to do everything he thought he had the power to do. So that's what that turns into. This one's definitely a split serif RPM. Got that lower serif all stretched out. This is not the same die as the previous one we were looking at. So we have two different RPMs here. (2006). 2006? So you're what, 19? Possibly even 18? You make me feel really old. Because in 2006, I had my 20th high school reunion. All right, let's see. That little line of doubling that you see on the bridge of the nose, that's part of the reduction process. Getting the design small enough to go onto coins. It's a very common occurrence. You see it a lot. This one's a nothing. 18 will be 19 in August. What day in August, Alexander? Taco John. Taco John up next. The 23rd. I asked because my birthday is on the 1st. The birthday of the Lincoln Cent is on the 2nd. The birthday of my father is on the 7th. The birthday of my mother is on the 19th. My stepmother is on the 21st. And my grandfather was the 30th. Right? Your grandson's 17. Well, now that we have all proven how much older we are, we still welcome Alexander. Everyone likes to pick up and start learning something at one point in time or another. Had nothing on that coin, so let's move on to coin number 13. I'm going to stop looking at the reverses. I spent a little too much time on that. And just going to be checking for RPMs and double dies. And I'm checking to be sure that I'm not skipping any other possible obvious markers. I have not seen another one of those double die obverses yet. That kind of bothers me. I like finding stuff. I like being the one who gets to give good stuff out. You won't see anything like this anywhere else on the internet. No one else who publishes die variety information does live shows where they're teaching you how to look for them. No one. That's that same as the first RPM, I do believe, that we found in this roll. Got nice strong die scratches, diagonal looking die scratches. Let's move this coin off the pedestal and remember what we've seen. Okay, so there's that. Remember what we've seen there. Okay, then we'll move this in. And I believe it's going to be the same die. How about no? How about not even close? What am I thinking? Oh, you know what? I didn't move that one out to the side. Do you remember what coin that was? Anybody remember which coin it was that I found that first RPM? Didn't I say that was for Sissy? Let's check this coin. See if this is it. There we go. Yep. Yep. That's it. I meant to put this one out and I didn't. It ended up in the deplorable pile. So this coin number 9 for Sissy is an RPM, and then Mickey gets a second of that at coin number 15. My memory is better than I thought. However, dementia will set in any time I'll lose my head. I'll lose my ability to walk. You might be young, but you like to do old people things. Yeah, there's a lot of old people things you may never be able to do because old people know things and experience things that younger ones just don't. For instance, if you want to heat up a frozen burrito, you just go to your microwave, pop it in the microwave, turn it on for a minute, minute and a half, and you got a nice hot burrito. Well, us old people, see, back in the day, we didn't have those microwave ovens. That's actually a really nice looking earlier die state coin there. We didn't have those microwave ovens, so if we wanted a hot anything, we had to turn either a convection oven on or just a regular kitchen oven. That's right. They say memory is the second thing to go. I can't remember the first. Oh, you like to cook. Very good. Very good. Cooking is wonderful. I cooked last night. I cooked an extremely tasty tortellini Alfredo. Good Alfredo sauce. 2 sticks of butter and a carton of heavy cream. Salt, seasonings. Bring it to a boil, constantly stirring. You knock it off the boil after it starts, continuing to stir until it thickens. Of course, tortellini is something you can just boil, but this was tortellini. This was sausage tortellini. You cook that just like you cook most pastas. Then, can of peas in a saucepan, stir pan, whatever. And you get it nice and hot with a little bit of pepper seasoned olive oil. You put in that a clove of garlic, crushed. Bring that to a nice pan fry. Then you pour them into the sauce when it's finished, the Alfredo sauce. And then, when your tortellini is done, you drain it. You put it back in the pot with no water, with a couple of tablespoons worth of olive oil. And you pour everything together once it gets hot and stir it a few times, and you got a meal. You got a meal that won't miss. Papa York, I show you as not registered. I would love to be able to register you and get you involved in this channel. Well, this one was actually a 3-pot meal, but it's only 3 pots because you have to cook things at the same time separately. But then when you put them together, it's like having a 1-pot meal. I'm going to have me some of that for lunch. Faux show. You used to be registered and you're not now? I wonder how that happened. Can you send me an email at thatcoppercoinspayments@gmail.com? I'll get you registered again. We were having no luck now. Still looking for that double die obverse again. I only had one of them so far. And I'm not finding the right die. Just not there. Thanks, Alexander. I appreciate it. We'll get you registered. Frosty. Frosty comes up next. And Frosty, it's another normal coin. Normal, normal, normal. Well, thank you, Alexander. You should take a look through my website as well. Right now, it's kind of lacking, but it's lincolncent.com. I sell rolls there. Singular sets, like 1953 PDS set, stuff like that. So you can take a look around there. We also have auctions every Tuesday evening at 7 p.m., where you can often get good stuff. Well, see, Papa York, that's the whole point. You get registered, and then you know what's going on. You can come back anytime. I mean, unless you're simply just not interested, and that's fine too. I know not everybody is a weirdo for Lincoln Cents, like I am. That's a funny looking little mark below the 6 there. odd. That's an odd duck right there. LincolnCents.com. LincolnCent.com. Not cents. LincolnCent.com. Like that. Coin number 27. Taco John. Is it? No, it's not. Still not. Running into... Oh, wait a minute. That is it. I just don't see the markers I was after. Okay, there's my little bit of damage. And there is... Okay, so I'm not seeing my markers. But that is a double die. You can see it there on the Y and on the T and on the B and on the L. So it's definitely there. Well, that's an earlier die state coin right there. I wonder how well that shows when you get to later die states. Probably not very well. Taco has our second one of these now. You stack her more than a collector, and you're not stacking very well either. Yeah, stacking requires not only patience, but handoffness. You have to be able to put your stuff in a box without getting it back out. All right, one for Mark. There's another one with that weird little thing underneath the 6 there. That's kind of interesting looking. Odd. The oddness of it all. Let's try coin number 30. This one for Carl. We got one more roll today. Yeah, one more roll we've got today is a 1962 Philadelphia roll. This one does not appear to be the double dice, so let's see. Is it? No. It is not. That's exactly what I thought, so... I think I know what I'm doing. I ain't sure of it, though. There's a double split lower serif. You can see the lower serif there has a split in it, little notch in the bottom corner of the D. Has a black streak in it. You could be looking at a planchette issue, but you also could be looking at coin wheel counter wheel damage. Coin counters very commonly damage the coins. It's got a wheel that spins around, feeds the coins out. And if that wheel stops on top of a coin, you could have damage on it. There's another similar mark below the 6, different die. Different die. Teaching short people math because one of life's pleasures is in making the little things count. I love that. Papa York, you're too funny not to hang around. Nothing there. This is more of an educational channel, really, than it is a sales thing. It doesn't matter to me if you spend any money. What matters more to me is that you're learning from what we're doing. I see, I don't see it there either. So this is probably not. It is not. Okay. Alrighty then. Oh, making scent planchets a couple decades ago in Tennessee, huh? I was unaware of that. Unaware that Tennessee was where they were making planchets. Not a double die. Nope. I think I'm kind of down to the point now where I'm led into looking for just RPMs or that double die obverse. I did not happen to check the mint mark on this, and it's normal. DC up next. Mr. DC, Mr. Bojangles. That one's got a split on the lower serif as well. So we'll move it over to the RPM, to the Rip'em lot. Chubby Pop Chaser. I don't think there's anything on this one. Nope. How about no? Coin number 38. Good morning, Arizona coins. That's part of what I like about living where I do. We've already got 3 hours worth of work done before you get out of bed. 2 hours or 3 hours, depending on the time of the year. Because Arizona is one of those states that does things right and doesn't change time in the fall and spring. The rest of us, I still don't know why we do it. Well, I know why, but I don't know why we still do it. That's an oddly interesting looking coin right there. I think the reason the RTY is thicker than usual on this is because of something obstructing those letters in the die, and those letters are not struck up as high as the rest. Sure. I don't think this is anything. Sissy. Let's see what we're giving her this time. Oh, it looks like nothing. Not a double die. Not an RPM. You're from Oklahoma. Do you live in Oklahoma? Where in Oklahoma, might I ask? He's going to say Bartlesville. No, he'll try to confuse me with a town name that's a really small town. I'll tell him exactly where it is. Now he's going to do it on purpose. Lawton. Okay. Southwest Oklahoma. They're along I-44. Not too far from one of my stomping grounds. Altus Air Force Base. Did a little bit of work down that way. Another one of our double split serif RPMs. Minor one. This one for Frosty. $42. Now for Stan. Nothing. A big recent snow in Arizona. I would have to say it's probably north of the Grand Canyon. That's another one of the sissy dies right there. And this one is for Paul. Near Scottsdale, okay. That would make sense. Number 44 for Sureg. Nothing there. Stan? Stan the Man up next. Well, that's one we haven't seen. That's for sure something I haven't seen yet today. Not an RPM. Not a double die either. On the obverse anyway. Let's check the reverse. I haven't seen this die pair. Oh, this one's got a icky spot. This was, by the way, a Fed Reserve wrapped roll. Whatever we get out of it is what we get out of it. Number 46, Shinbone. I remember this die. This one. Wasn't this a double die reverse? Or not? I guess not. I've been to 49 out of the 50 states. I've never been to Hawaii. And I've been to 34 countries worldwide. Nice doubled mint mark there. Nice RPM. Really pretty RPM. Nice tilted. That one's for Paul. 48. 3 coins left in the roll. This is one of them. Got nothing going on in this one. Now for 49. Don't see anything here either. And now number 50. Last coin in the roll. Yeah, I do. It's going to be about an hour before I get to this next one. It's going to be a 1962 Philadelphia roll. It'll be reveal number 785. It's going to be the last one for this week. Oh, man, look at the colors. That's nice toning right there. That's pretty. No die variety, but a pretty coin. Absolutely. You guys meet me back here. It's going to probably be around 1:30, and we'll get that last reveal for this week finished up. We've got what do we have here? About a dozen or so die varieties. James, Taco, Sissy, Mickey, Frosty, Paul, Carl, Shinbone, DC, Paul, and Joe. So Paul gets 2 and everybody else there gets 1. All right. Well, I appreciate it, folks. You guys have a great afternoon. If you don't make it back, I'm going to be here in about 30 minutes to an hour. I'll see you then. Have a good one.